Hello, my dear guest. Today I want to show you a way how you can customize your components. Let me show you an example. So in this case, you have Mat paginator and you have a task because you don't want to put it in every page and pass page size and page size options. Your team decided that page size will always be 10 and page size options always will be 5, 10, 25 and 100. So what a lot of people do, they will create a new component, let's say like custom paginator. And in custom paginator, they will copy this code, but instead of page size options, they will say length, page size, and page size options. And then they will need to pass it in custom paginator component. And page size options. And we need to input. And in our case, we want to set default page size to 10 and page size options into, let me copy, into this one. And then we can use our custom paginator. Let me just copy. And we need only to pass our length because let's see, our page size and page size options are already set it by default. Let's look into our application. So, and everything works. So you have items per page will be in page size option. So you have 5, 10, 25 and 100. Length we are passing. So it will be 100. So everything works. This is like available options to customize your components. But there is another way. Yeah, but before it, let me once more again explain it a little bit. So the problem with this approach, if we look into Mat pagination, you have pretty a lot of parameters. And you will need to, if you want to at some point to customize your paginator and add new parameter, for example, disabled. You will need to go inside your component and add this disabled and add it here also. Disabled. Let me check this one. Yeah, 1 second. And it's not. And you need to do it with every single one of them. And it's not very comfortable because there can be a lot of problems because the library can add or remove properties. Or for example, if you have your own project that uses a library that uses their library, the problem can be that you need to call your library and ask for them to add new features that was added in that original library. Another approach is to use directive. So let us create new directive. We'll say it's also custom paginator. Here we have it. And now what we can do, let's remove our page size and page size options. And let's say our directive, custom paginator. And we want to achieve the same as in custom paginator. So we want to set default page size and page size options. To achieve it with directive, we can access directive that is, we can access components that directive is attached to. So we will say self, and here private read-only paginator, and we are getting access to the constructor of this component. So we'll say this is mat paginator. Also, we need to implement onInit. And in onInit, we have access to the directive. So now we can write mat paginator. And here we can say page size. Let me copy. Page size 10. And let me copy page size options. Now let's look into our directive. So it has the same functionality, but the advantage of it is like if I want to disable it, because I really don't want to manipulate disable state in my directive. Let's say disable true, and it works. And if you need to pass your custom value, you can use input. So let's say input, and let's say we need to change page size. What we can do is pass this page size or 10. And let's change our page size to 100. So as you can see, page size changed to 100. Let me just stop and disable. And everything works. So the biggest advantage of it is that if the new version of the library will come out, you don't need to go into the code and change anything. You can already use everything that is provided by that library. And if you need to change something, then you will add like input page size and do all the magic. So, but just to remind you, all these two options are actually viable. It just depends on what use case you have. And if you have use case when you can use directive, maybe it's a good way to use directive instead of wrapping the component in the component. And with a new version in 15, there is even more functionality that directive can achieve. That's it. And I want just to remind you to never isolate yourself. It's the worst option that you can do. Have a great day. Bye.